Europe is facing a resurgent wave of Covid-19 infections, and tougher restrictions and vaccine rules are leading to protests across the continent. The Netherlands has seen 3 straight nights of protests against Covid restrictions. On Sunday, riots broke out with angry mobs clashing with police. 5 police officers have been hurt and 64 people detained in 3 provinces. The latest unrest was sparked after the government imposed a 3-week partial lockdown. Strict measures were put in place after the Netherlands reported a record spike in Covid cases. Bars and restaurants are not allowed to stay open post 8 p.m. and crowds are banned at sporting events. Protests also broke out in Belgium. Around 35,000 people took to the streets in Brussels to protest against restrictions imposed by the government to curb a rise in cases there. Protesters and police clashed, with demonstrators throwing smoke bombs and fireworks. Police used tear gas and water cannons in some cases to try and disperse demonstrators. Belgium tightened its Covid restrictions last week, mandating a wider use of masks and enforcing work from home for many. A Covid pass is compulsory to eat in a restaurant or go to a theatre. Belgium's recorded over 26,000 total deaths due to the virus and has one of the highest cases per capita rate in the European Union.
We want our freedom, and being injected by something that's not tested well, being not able to work where you want to work, to be where you want to be, that's not where we stand for. That's not freedom, that's not where we live. We live in West Europe, and we just want to be free like we were before.
I'm here to come in I don't know how to explain it, but I'm here to fight the how do I call it? You know, it's discrimination. People get discriminated because the QR code. You know, people are vaccinated cannot enter some buildings because they only had one vaccine. This is the main reason we're here. You know, people get discriminated. I mean, we don't want this.
But Austria is the first Western European country to reimpose a full national lockdown. It'll be in place till December the 12th, but will be reassessed in 10 days. All non-essential shops have to close. People have been asked to work from home. Schools will only be open for children who require face-to-face learning. Christmas markets and hotels will be shut. The new measures, including a vaccine mandate, have also been met with protests in Austria. Over 40,000 took to the streets of Vienna to demonstrate against the government's restrictions. Hospitals in the region of Salzburg and northern Austria are struggling to deal with the rising patient load. For an update on Germany, we can get the latest from WION correspondent Ryan Thompson, who's in Frankfurt.
Many months ago, the Chancellor Angela Merkel said that there was no way that Germany would move toward compulsory vaccinations, even as we saw neighboring countries like France and Italy begin to require compulsory vaccinations for certain professions. So, of course, talking about public sector workers, or notably those who are working in hospitals or care homes. Germany said they would not follow such a step, but now as they're facing one of the fastest upticks that we've seen in COVID-19 cases really in the entire story of this pandemic, well, the entire narrative is changing very quickly. Germany is worried about the situation they're facing at hand and looking across the border at Austria, which did not push for vaccinations as hard as some countries did, and now thinking it might be a bit of a different story. But so far, the official line, at least from the Bundestag and from the Chancellery here in Germany, is that is not on the books just yet, but many local leaders and some in different of Germany's 16 states are beginning to think about this type of requirement, especially in those regions where the vaccination rate is so low, like Saxony and Bavaria.